Hello and welcome back to our Lord of the Rings LCG solo progression series. And today's quest is the nightmare version of Into the Pit, which was the first scenario in the Khazad-dûm Deluxe expansion, and it was the first scenario in the Duradel cycle. A quick reminder, in this series we're playing through each quest in chronological order of the game's initial release, and we'll only be using player cards that were available at the time of this quest's release. I'm calling this deck Pit Rangers. So the deck name for my deck for the original version of Into the Pit was called Pit Stoppers. So a similar title here, but this one we're actually using a lot of Ranger cards, so there's a bit of a theme there. So we're using Aragorn, who is a Ranger, Beorvor is a Ranger, Faramir is a Ranger, Ithilien Trackers, they're Rangers, and we'll be using Ranger Bow and Ranger Spikes. And so just a lot of the Ranger keyword here, and or the trait, I should say. And so this is a very easy quest. This is surprising to me how easy it is, considering this is a nightmare, the easiest nightmare so far for sure. Like I'm comparing this to Catch an Orc. To Catch an Orc is way harder, and it's not a nightmare quest. And so this one just maybe disappoints in terms of the difficulty. But we'll take an easy win. Let's get to the quest and see how we do. All right, we'll look at our opening hand here. Looks good to me. The fact that I already have Master of the Forge, which I can play in mono lore very easily, and Deep Knowledge, I'll just keep this opening hand. Already also a couple of the songs. Good stuff there. Okay, so here's the Nightmare Setup card. We remove the following cards in the following quantities from the Encounter deck, and then we shuffle in the Nightmare cards. And it tells us that we're playing Nightmare mode, and there's a forced effect now applied to the Cave Torch. When it exhausts, we'll place a damage token on this card, and if there are 5 or more damage tokens on this card, remove Cave Torch from the game. So there's just a limit to how many times we can use Cave Torch. Entering the Mines 1A, you have been sent by the White Council to Moria to deliver a message to Balin and his dwarven colony. No one has heard from him in a while. Search the Encounter deck for Eastgate and Cave Torch. Put Eastgate into play as the active location and have the first player attach Cave Torch to a hero of his choice. Okay, so here's Eastgate. It's the active location. It's immune to player card effects. And just like the last time we played this quest, we will take advantage of this text here. Players cannot optionally engage enemies, and no engagement checks are made. And so enemies will be stuck in staging until we clear Eastgate. Forced after Eastgate leaves play as an explored location, add First Hall to the staging area. If I were to continue on here, it says set First Hall and Bridge of Khazad-dûm aside out of play, and so they are both out of play. And so the idea is we clear Eastgate, this enters play, we clear First Hall, Bridge of Khazad-dûm enters play, and we clear it. So we were to attach the Cave Torch to a hero of our choice. It doesn't really matter. There are no restricted attachments in our deck. This is a restricted attachment. We'll just attach it here to Denethor. And there's an action on Cave Torch. Exhaust Cave Torch to place up to 3 progress tokens on a dark location. That good theme where we're just lighting a darkened corner. And so there's some more cool theme here. Forced after its Cave Torch exhausts, discard the top card of the Encounter deck. If that card is an enemy, add it to the staging area. And so we'll see that play out as we move along. Okay, side B. We have to make 7 progress to advance, and we have to, it says we cannot advance to the next stage of the scenario unless Bridge of Khazad-dûm is in their victory display. So the doors of the East Gate hang crooked on their hinges. The darkness inside the doorway is still and impenetrable, shutting out the last beams of a sinking sun. When revealed, reveal 1 encounter card per player and add it to the staging area. It's going to be Watchful Eyes. When revealed, the first player attaches Watchful Eyes to one of his heroes. This will count as a condition attachment with the text, limit 1 per hero. If attached hero is exhausted at the end of the combat phase, reveal, what's it say? If attached hero is exhausted at the end of the combat phase, reveal 1 card from the Encounter deck and add it to the staging area. We'll go ahead and attach that to Aragorn. Not the best card to get during setup. Okay, so resource phase. Let's exhaust Bearvor to draw 2 cards. And we'll exhaust Denethor here. Action, exhaust Denethor to look at the top card of the encounter deck. You may move that card to the bottom of the deck. Goblin Lurker is fine. We will go ahead and play Deep Knowledge Doom 2. Each player draws 2 cards. And we will go ahead and put out Master of the Forge and use this action, exhaust Master of the Forge, to search the top 5 cards of your deck for any 1 attachment and add it to your hand. We'll grab Ranger Spikes and shuffle our deck. We'll hang on to this resource because we're hoping next round we can draw into a Steward of Gondor. Then we could put Song of Kings onto Denethor and be able to pay for it. So I'm not going to quest with Aragorn, because if I do, he's exhausted, and then we'd have to do this forced effect. So we're just going to go straight to staging and reveal Goblin Lurker. He cannot be optionally engaged. That's true both for his card, but also here he doesn't make engagement checks either, and we cannot optionally engage enemies. If the active location is a dark location, Goblin Lurker gets +3 attack and -40 engagement cost. We were unsuccessful in the quest. Threat goes up by 3. And we'll refresh and move on to the next round. So, at the end of the combat phase, Aragorn was not exhausted. Okay, here's Bearvor exhausting to draw 2 cards. And let's try to get Steward of Gondor here with Master of the Forge. We did not. But we'll take Unexpected Courage and shuffle our deck. We'll spend a resource from Aragorn's resource pool to put out a Song of Travel and attach it to Denethor. And so then now we can attach Unexpected Courage to Denethor. Let's exhaust Denethor to look at the top card. Dreadful Gap, definitely want to move that to the bottom of the encounter deck. We'll ready Denethor and use his action again. And this is good. And we have 1 resource left. We'll go ahead and play Mithrander's Advice, drawing 3 cards, 1 card for each hero you control with a printed lore resource icon. And we'll play Daron's Runes to draw 2 cards and discard Song of Travel. And we'll play Deep Knowledge Doom 2 to draw 2 cards. And again, Deep Knowledge Doom 2, draw 2 cards. Okay, we will not exhaust with Aragorn. We reveal Sigil Mineshaft action. Raise each player's threat by 1 to place 1 progress token on Sigil Mineshaft. So we're in the action window after staging. Before quest resolution, let's take that action, raising our threat by 5 to get rid of this. And then we were unsuccessful in the quest. Our threat goes up to 48. And we'll refresh. And we're at 49. We'll use Aragorn's action. Reduce your threat to your starting threat level. We're at 30. That was our starting threat level, I think. Yes. All right, so next round. Bearvor draws us 2 cards. We need Steward of Gondor here. I think we've got a good shot that'll be in the top 5. Let's use Master of the Forge and no Steward of Gondor. Let's use Mithrander's Advice to try to draw Steward of Gondor. No Steward of Gondor. Cray cray. All right, we have no way to draw further cards. Let's use Denethor's action. Twisting Shadows is good. We'll Ready Denethor. And then we will just, I think, hang tight for now. We've got a couple of resources. I don't need to put out a Ranger Spikes. So yeah, we'll just let that come out. So Twisting Shadows has a threat of X. X is a number of dark locations in play. There's just one. Twisting Shadows is a dark location. So it's going to have a threat of 1 and a progress of 1. It says when revealed, remove all progress from each dark location in play. Let's use, we're in the action window after staging. Let's use Denethor's action to look at the top card. And it's an enemy. Let's move it to the bottom of the deck. So I was hoping that I could maybe use Cave Torch, because whenever you use Cave Torch, you can exhaust it to place up to 3 progress tokens on a dark location. After Cave Torch exhaust, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Well, if it's an enemy, it's not so bad. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's exhaust Cave Torch. And it says exhaust Cave Torch to place up to 3 progress tokens on a dark location. So that leaves play, and after Cave Torch exhaust, discard the top card of the encounter deck if that card is an enemy added to the staging area. And it wasn't. So the only enemy I wouldn't have really liked to have seen would be the there's one that's got it's like a tentacle of some sort. It's got a surge effect, but it's not being revealed, so I didn't mind it too bad. Because that was all during the action window before quest resolution, and that got rid of just that one threat in staging. So we're unsuccessful. Threat goes up by 3. Refresh next round. What is this? Oh yeah, this guy. All right. Bearboar draws us 2 cards. There's Steward of Gondor. And we'll grab another Steward of Gondor. Let's spend a resource from Aragorn's resource pool to put Song of Kings onto Denethor. And we'll pay for Steward of Gondor and attach it to Denethor and get those resources back. Let's use Denethor's action, and we'll bury that. Ready Denethor and use his action, and that's fine. This will just boost the staging area to +1. Just to keep our threat low, I'm tempted to just go ahead and sneak attack Goblin Lurker, sneak attack Gandalf in and destroy it. And that just keeps our threat kind of low. I think it's worth doing. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's put out our first Ithilien tracker. And a Ranger Bow. This will be attached to Ithilien tracker. Ranger Bow can be attached to a Ranger character, which Ithilien tracker is a Ranger character. And it's got an action, exhaust Ranger Bow and attach character to deal 1 damage to an enemy in the staging area. But let's go ahead at the beginning of questing. Before committing characters, let's sneak attack Gandalf in. And we're just going to do 4 direct damage to Goblin Lurker. And we'll quest with Gandalf. And we'll reveal. Burning Low, when revealed, each enemy and location currently in the staging area gets +1 threat until the end of the phase. +3 instead if it is a dark location we're talking about. Players may exhaust a Cave Torch to cancel this effect, but because we destroyed the enemy, it doesn't do anything. There's no cards in staging. So we made 4 progress. Gandalf comes back to hand at the end of questing. Refresh. Next round. Now, eventually, when I got this during setup, I definitely put it on Aragorn, but it's better to have Watchful Eyes placed on Denethor because he can ready. I guess we could put an Unexpected Courage on Aragorn, and we might, but during setup, we couldn't afford to put it on Denethor because he has to exhaust each round. Let's draw 2 cards with Bearboar. And Master of the Forge grabs us another Unexpected Courage. Let's use Denethor's action. Okay, patrol sentry is fine, I think. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put out a ranger spikes and a unexpected courage. We'll ready Denethor, and we're not questing with anybody. We reveal patrol sentry. Ranger spikes grabs him, so 0 threat, and we made no progress, and our threat did not go up. Okay, during the action window somewhere along the way here, we'll take this action on Ranger Bow. Action exhaust Ranger Bow, an attached character to deal 1 damage to an enemy in the staging area. So 1 damage on patrol sentry. Let's use Denethor's action. I don't like narrow fissure. Let's bury that. And ready Denethor and do it again. Twisting Shadows is good. Refresh. Next round. Steward of Gondor. Master of the Forge. Just whiffs there. We might not have any attachments left. I don't know. Let's draw 2 cards with Barivor. Let's play Daron's Runes to draw 2 cards. And discard Steward of Gondor. We'll put out another Unexpected Courage. Our 3rd one. Let's put one on Aragorn, actually. So now he can quest and then ready as well. I don't know. Would wish that I had Unexpected Courage. All 3 on Denethor. Yeah, we'll just we'll put it on Denethor. All right. We want to put out another Ithilien Ranger or Ithilien Tracker and another Ranger Bow. Okay, so we will not commit anybody to the quest, and we reveal Twisting Shadows, which has a threat of 1 and a progress of 1 because it's the only dark location in play. When revealed, remove all progress from each dark location in play. But we're in that action window after staging. Let's use Denethor's action. And I don't really mind this guy, but basically when we use Cave Torch, if it's an enemy that's discarded, we add it to the staging area. I don't have a Ranger Spikes out, so I'm going to move him to the bottom of the deck. We'll do Denethor's action again. There we go. Let's use Cave Torch. We exhaust it, placing 3 progress on Twisting Shadows. We discard a card. It's not an enemy, so it's not added to staging. And we've done this effect twice. Forced after Cave Torch exhaust, place 1 damage token on this card. Then if there are 5 or more damage tokens on this card, remove Cave Torch from the game. So, it has limited uses. But that was what was revealed. And so we quested neither successfully or unsuccessfully. Let's use Denethor's action. Lightless Passage. It's a lot of threat. We'll just move it to the bottom of the encounter deck. We'll use Denethor again. And definitely want to move him to the bottom of the deck. We want to use the Ithilien Trackers to do 2 more damage to Patrol Sentry. Refresh. Next round. Okay. Let's draw 2 cards with Barivor. And we'll play Daron's Runes to draw 2 cards and discard Steward of Gondor. Okay, Steward of Gondor. Let's play our 3rd Ithilien Tracker. We'll attach Ranger Bow to it. We'll use Denethor's action. And that's fine. We'll just not quest with anybody. We reveal burning low. When revealed, each enemy and location currently in the staging area gets +1 threat. And so that's going to boost Patrol Sentry to a total of 2, but minus Ranger Spikes, it's still at 0. And so, So no progress, no threat increase. And then we just want to do 1 point of damage to Patrol Sentry. We don't want to destroy it. We want it to stay in staging, and we'll see how that why in a minute. But let's use Denethor's action. And there's Shadow Dweller. Something from Arkham Horror LCG there. Let's do his action again. We buried the Cthulhu creature. Let's see what else we get. Twisting Shadows. Okay. Refresh. And next round. Steward of Gondor. Let's definitely play another Ranger Spikes. No more cards to draw. We have a Song of Kings out here. Let's put out Faramir. And that's it for now. So we're going to quest. Even with Master of the Forge. And with our 3 Athelian trackers, but not with Aragorn because of Watchful Eyes. And we'll reveal Twisting Shadows, threat, and progress of 1. We'll use Denethor's action, and then we'll exhaust Cave Torch to put 3 progress on Twisting Shadows. This is discarded. It's not an enemy, and so it's not added to staging. And we put a damage token on Into the Pit. We'll ready Denethor and use his action. We made 2 progress because of Barivor. Okay, good. We're where we can advance, though. We're fine now. But we're moving this to the bottom of the deck. I'll wait 1 more round to advance, I guess. If we had, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Branching Paths I don't like. And that'll surge, so let's get rid of that. Refresh, next round. Steward of Gondor, Denethor is just burying stuff like crazy here. This is why I didn't want to put it on Aragorn. Sudden Pitfall, we can't cancel, so let's bury that. This surges. Man. And we'll move that to the bottom of the encounter deck. Is there anything left in the encounter deck that we like? All right, we do have a Ranger Spike, so I'm not worried about any enemies. Let's go ahead and just play a Good Harvest to name Leadership. And play for 3 cost a Sword That Was Broken and attach it to Aragorn. This gives each character, because it's attached to Aragorn, each character I control gets +1 willpower. And because this is Aragorn, he gets a leadership resource icon. Okay, we're ready to, I think, advance. We don't know what's coming out, but we can cancel Treacheries with Test of Will. We'll quest with Barivor and with Master of the Forge and reveal Goblin Scout. And Ranger Spikes grabs it. We made 3 progress, but let's exhaust Faramir to boost Barivor and Master of the Forge. So 5 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, Eastgate has been explored. After Eastgate leaves play, and as an explored location, add First Hall to the staging area. So no more does this text exist. Players cannot optionally engage enemies, and no engagement checks are made. Now we just are playing the game regularly. This goes to the victory display, and First Hall enters play. All right, and now during the travel phase, we want to travel to First Hall. Each player must raise his threat by 2 to travel here. By 3, actually. And we'll just we'll put 1 point of damage on this Goblin Scout rather than destroying it. We just want these 2 enemies 1 away from being destroyed. Refresh. Next round. Steward of Gondor. We'll put out another Ranger Spikes. Let's use Denethor's action. And that's good. Let's go ahead and play Galadrim's Greeting. Not that we have to, but just getting our threat under 40 feels a little bit more comfortable to me. Okay, we'll quest. And reveal. Burning low, each enemy is going to get +1 threat until the end of the phase. So that would mean Goblin Scout's at 4 -2, so it does get a boost, but Patrol Sentry will just still be at 0. So 5 progress made, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. And if we exhaust Faramir, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional points. That goes to the victory display, and when it leaves play, Khazad-dûm, Bridge of Khazad-dûm is added into play. And while Bridge of Khazad-dûm is the active location, players cannot play cards. Let's travel here, knowing that we can't play any Test of Wills or even sneak attacks, but we can use actions. So let's see what we get. Move that to the bottom. Denethor again. Move that to the bottom since we can't play Test of Will. Refresh. Next round. Steward of Gondor. Let's use Denethor's action. Let's move it to the bottom of the encounter deck. Actually, no, we can. We're about to advance. Yeah, we want to move it to the bottom of the encounter deck. I think that's still there. Let's use Denethor's action. Let me see, what did I do wrong? Let's use his action and move that to the bottom of the encounter deck. Ready him and do it again. I just don't want an enemy added. Don't want Narrow Fissure either. I really don't want an enemy. Narrow Fissure's fine, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. We'll move it to the bottom. There's not a treachery that really scares me too much. Okay, we can't play cards, but we'll quest past Bridge of Khazad-dûm. We'll even quest with Faramir. It's better to quest with Faramir than to boost with Faramir. I want to leave these characters ready. We reveal Patrol Sentry, so an enemy was added. And we made 6 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can play events because this is left play, or we can play cards. That goes to victory display. Players cannot advance to the next stage of the scenario unless Bridge of Khazad-dûm is in their victory display. So we are on to stage 2A, Goblin Ambush. You hear the sounds of many scampering feet. As you move closer to investigate, you find your party set upon on all sides by a patrol of orcs. When revealed, the first player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for X orc enemies and add them to the staging area. X is going to be 1 plus the number of players in the game. So that's going to be 2. One of these choices must be Patrol Sentry and the other one must be Patrol Leader if able. So let's look for Patrol Sentry. And 1 plus the number of players in the game. And Patrol Leader. Those are the 2. Okay. So there is a progress of X. X is 1 plus the number of players in the game. It says after an enemy is defeated, place 1 progress on this stage. Progress cannot be placed on Goblin Ambush except by the above effect. Okay, so we're in the quest resolution, and there's an action window. And what we're going to do is we're going to exhaust Ithilien Tracker to destroy Patrol Sentry, put in a progress on Goblin Ambush, and then we'll destroy Goblin Scout, putting a second progress on Goblin Ambush. It says, because after an enemy is defeated, we place a progress on the stage. And so X is 1 plus the number of players in the game, so it's 2. So we advance to the final stage, a way up. You have captured a member of the patrol and pressed the wounded goblin for information about the dwarves. It gives you a nasty laugh, and with a mouthful of blood, spits out, Balin can be found in the Chamber of Records. It can say no more. The Chamber of Records is on the 7th level of Moria. The way up is treacherous, and you are accompanied by a sense of unease and vague dread. Heroes do not collect resources during the resource phase. If the players defeat the stage, they win the game. So resources per round is going to be -1. Same thing for Barivore and for Denethor. Okay, we're still in that action window. Let's exhaust Ithilien Tracker to ping Patrol Sentry. In the, remember we use this action, exhaust Ranger Bow and attach character to deal 1 damage to an enemy in the staging area. All right. And so we're in this quest phase. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Let's play Galadrim's Greeting. We're in this action window. Let's play a Good Harvest to spend Aragorn's resource. Well, we don't have to because Aragorn has a leadership resource icon. So we'll spend his resource to play Sneak Attack and bring Gandalf into play and destroy. Okay, so the problem with Patrol Leader is before Patrol Leader is dealt damage, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If the discarded card is an enemy, cancel that damage. So I don't know because Denethor's out of his action. There's not a way for me to know. So I'm just going to lower my threat by 5. Gandalf comes back to hand at the end of questing. That was all in that action window. During travel, nowhere to go. During the encounter phase, Goblin or Patrol Leader will stay put because our threat is underneath this engagement. Patrol Sentry will engage us. And we'll just go ahead and sneak attack Gandalf in during the encounter phase and deal 4 damage. So we destroyed him. He comes back to hand at the end of the encounter phase. Refresh. And what happens at the end of combat? Oh yeah, it's still this card. Okay, so last round. We'll use Denethor's action to look at what's coming. Branching Path is good. And we didn't get any resources except from Steward of Gondor. We'll go ahead and quest, I think, for the win here. I can't play Gandalf, unfortunately. The only way that I maybe could, let's go ahead and do it, I guess. Let's play Will of the West. Action, choose a player, shuffle that player's discard pile into his deck. So we'll shuffle all these cards. We're just hoping to draw a sneak attack. We're in planning here. Let's play Mithrander's Device to draw 3 cards. There's a sneak attack. And so we'll play, we don't really need to play Deep Knowledge. Okay, at the beginning of the quest phase, we'll sneak attack Gandalf into play. And when he enters play, we want to do 4 damage to Patrol Leader. It says force, before Patrol Leader is dealt damage, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If the discarded card is an enemy, cancel that damage. It's not. So it leaves play. And we're still in an action window before committing characters. Let's use Denethor's action again. Lightless Passage. Let's move that to the bottom of the encounter deck. It's a little bit of threat. And again, that's going to surge. Let's move it to the bottom of the encounter deck. Might should have stuck with Lightless Passage. And again, okay, that's good. Sigil Mineshaft. Okay, so we're just going to quest with everybody. We're out of resources anyway, so let's quest. We're even going to quest with Aragorn because we're not worried about the end of the combat piece. And we reveal. Sigil Mineshaft action, raise each player's threat by 1 to place 1 progress token on Sigil Mineshaft. I'm going to do this action 5 times in a row. And that leaves play. And then I'm going to exhaust Faramir to boost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. And we made 22 progress. And won the game. If the players defeat this stage, they win the game. So we just did that. That was more difficult. It was kind of more fun. That's more fun than I've played because of getting Watchful Eyes during setup. It meant that I couldn't use Aragorn. It changed things just a little bit. Made it just a slight bit more challenging. And then we got a little bit of a log jam there with a bunch of enemies. But, you know, you have all kinds of ways to deal with them. I could have played Will of the West sooner than I did. I just didn't play it, but it worked out. So we won the quest. I don't think there's anything to say. Obviously, Ranger Spikes helps us with the enemies, even when we advance past stage 1. You know, we want them stuck up here, and we want them to be 1 point of damage away so that at stage 2 we can just advance quickly by using this action on Ranger Bow twice. That's it. That's the quest. Nothing much to it. There's not a whole lot to say about the enemies and such. There's just this guy, Shadow Dweller's a big hitter. So you want to be careful about this one. He does not make engagement checks, though, so that's good. So even though it's at 0, while Cave Torch is in play. So assuming we have Cave Torch, which usually I do, that's going to stay in staging and it doesn't contribute any threat, so it really doesn't hurt us. Kind of a strange card there. Locations, nothing much to say other than Dreadful Gap can be a little bit of a problem if you get that during setup or something like that. It would switch out with the East Gate, and you really want the East Gate. But you could see, even though we had Denethor and 3 Unexpected Courage, there's just a lot of cards that were like not our preferred ones, and so you do have to use his action quite a bit. Well, that is it. That's the quest. Like I said, really easy, but we don't mind that after a few hard ones. So thank you for joining me, and hope you will again. Hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.